All right, so we're taking a deep dive into the world of smart home engineers.
Definitely a hot topic these days.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's got smart something in their homes now.
Right. It's like the whole house is becoming one big gadget.
Exactly. And someone's got to make all that tech play nice together.
And that's where our smart home engineers come in.
We've got a stack of RoleCatcher guides here.
Oh, nice. Those are always super
They
informative.
really are.
Yeah.
So let's see what they tell us about this booming career.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so first things first, what do these smart home engineers actually do?
Well, it's more than just, changing a light bulb.
Definitely more to it than that.
It's like being a conductor of an orchestra, but instead of instruments.
You're conducting a symphony of gadgets.
Exactly. Think lighting, security, temperature, all working in perfect harmony.
And it all starts with those RoleCatcher guides you sent over.
They're a gold mine of info for anyone curious about this field.
All right, so let's dive in. They mentioned smart home engineers being the ultimate home tech conductors.
Love that analogy. They're not just they're designing entire integrated
So
systems.
like a high-tech maestro making sure every device hits the right note.
Exactly. And it's not just about the tech itself. These engineers need to be incredible problem solvers.
Makes sense because I can only imagine how many things could go wrong.
Oh, you have no idea. Networking issues, device compatibility, even the homeowner's Wi-Fi password can throw a wrench in the works.
It sounds like they need the patience of a saint and the knowledge of, well, a tech wizard.
You got that right. But when it all comes together seamlessly, that's where the magic happens.
Speaking of magic, the guides also mention working with stakeholders. Now I gotta ask, who are we talking about here?
Basically, anyone involved in the project, homeowners, interior designers, architects, you name it.
So it's not just about being tech savvy, it's about communication and collaboration too.
Huge part of the job.
Mm.
You could have the most brilliant smart home system, but if you can't explain it to a client or work effectively with a team, it's not going to go well.
So soft skills are just as important as technical chops in this field.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, the pros and cons. According to the guides, what are some of the perks of this career path?
Well, for starters, the demand is through the roof. The Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts a 6% growth rate over the next decade.
Wow, that's a lot of job opportunities.
Yep. And with high demand comes competitive salaries. So if you're looking for a secure and well-paying career, this could be it.
That's music to a job seeker's ears. But what about the downsides? Every job has them right.
True that. The biggest challenge highlighted in the guides is staying ahead of the tech curve. This industry moves at lightning speed.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just think about how much smartphones have changed in the last 5 years.
Exactly. What's cutting edge today might be obsolete tomorrow, so smart home engineers need to be constantly learning and adapting.
So always be hitting the books or the webinars or whatever it takes to stay ahead of the game.
Exactly. They even mentioned specific industry conferences like CES and CEDIA Expo as great ways to see what's new and network with other professionals.
So it's a fast-paced, constantly evolving field. But for those who thrive on challenge and innovation, it sounds pretty exciting.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. It's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people using it and the ever-changing landscape of the industry.
Now, speaking of changing landscapes, this is where the industry trends section comes in, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
And there are two big players shaping the future of smart homes: artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things.
Okay, those sound like straight out of a sci-fi movie, but in a cool way.
They are pretty futuristic, but they're also becoming more and more commonplace. And for smart home engineers, understanding these technologies is crucial.
So let's break it down. First up, artificial intelligence. What does AI actually look like in a smart home setting?
Well, it's not quite robots making you breakfast yet anyway, but it's all about personalization and proactivity. Imagine this. You walk in the door after a long day, and without you even lifting a finger, the lights adjust to your preferred evening, setting the temperature changes to your ideal comfort level, and your favorite playlist starts streaming from hidden speakers.
Okay, that does sound pretty amazing.
Right, that's the power of AI at play. It's like having a home that anticipates your needs and adjusts accordingly.
And it's not just about comfort. AI can also help homeowners be more energy efficient.
Right, exactly. AI can analyze energy consumption patterns and makes suggestions for conservation. Like if you leave a light on in an empty room, the system can automatically turn it off for you.
So it's like having a little energy-saving buddy built right into your house.
Exactly. And as AI technology continues to evolve, we can expect even more personalized and sophisticated features in smart homes.
That's pretty exciting. Now let's move on to the Internet of Things. That one sounds a little more intimidating. What exactly does it entail?
Think of it as the invisible network that allows all your devices to communicate with each other. Your refrigerator can talk to your smartphone, alerting you when you're low on milk.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Your security system can send you real-time alerts if there's any suspicious activity.
Oh.
And your thermostat can adjust the temperature based on your location. So if you're on your way home, it'll start cooling the house before you even arrive.
So it's like having a whole team of invisible butlers working behind the scenes to make your life easier.
That's a great way to put it. And it's all thanks to the Internet of Things. This interconnected web of devices is what makes a truly smart home possible.
So as a smart home engineer, you're not just installing gadgets, you're creating this seamless, interconnected experience for the homeowner.
Precisely. But with all this connectivity comes great responsibility, something the guides emphasize throughout.
Okay, so great responsibility. We're practically superheroes of home tech. But before we start designing our high-tech layers, let's talk about how someone actually breaks into this field education-wise.
Right, gotta have the brains before the smart home superpowers.
Exactly. So what do these RoleCatcher guides say about the education front?
Well, they highlight a few common paths, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, that kind of thing.
So a solid foundation in tech is definitely a must-have.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta understand how things work at their core before you can make them smart.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But they also mention robotics engineering and even sustainable energy engineering. Is it about more than just the smart stuff?
You hit the nail on the head. It's about systems thinking,
Mhm.
understanding how everything connects from energy flow to data transfer.
So it's like you need the broad strokes of like a traditional engineer, but then you're layering on all this specialized smart home knowledge.
Exactly. And speaking of specialized knowledge, don't underestimate the power of certifications.
Oh yeah, those are like gold stars on a resume, right?
Absolutely. The guides specifically call out the CEDIA Certified Smart Home Professional and the Control4 Certified Automation Programmer as real game changers.
So even with a fancy degree, those certifications show you're serious about staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. They prove you're not just dabbling in smart home tech, you're committed to professional development and keeping your skills sharp.
Which is crucial in a field that moves as fast as this one.
Oh, for sure. Now, the guides do a great job outlining all the functions and core abilities needed for this gig, but maybe we can bring those to life a bit.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, just reading a list of skills can be a little dry.
I hear you. Okay, so picture this. You're a smart home engineer, and you get a call from a client freaking out because their smart lighting system is doing the disco.
Oh no, the ultimate party foul.
Right. Lights flickering, refusing to turn off, complete chaos. This is where complex problem solving comes in.
Time to put on the detective hat and figure out what's gone haywire.
Exactly. A good smart home engineer wouldn't just start replacing bulbs willy-nilly. They'd methodically troubleshoot checking the wiring, the software testing for interference from other devices.
So it's like being a tech detective, searching for clues to crack the case of the malfunctioning smart home.
You got it. And often under pressure with the client anxiously waiting for the lights to come back on. Talk about a high-pressure situation.
I bet. Okay, so crisis averted, the lights are back on.
Mhm.
What other scenarios might test a smart home engineer's skills?
Well, let's say a client wants to integrate some new cutting-edge smart appliance into their existing setup.
Ooh, like one of those fancy smart fridges that can order groceries for you.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Integrating new tech isn't always as simple as plug and play.
I can imagine.
This is where judgment and decision-making come into play. The engineer needs to consider a whole bunch of factors. Is this new gadget compatible with the existing system? What are the potential security risks? Is this a future-proof choice, or will it be obsolete in a year?
So it's not just about knowing the tech. It's about making smart decisions that balance the client's wishes with what's actually feasible and responsible.
Exactly. It's a delicate dance, but that's what makes this career so interesting and challenging.
It's like being a tech advisor, a problem solver, and a bit of a fortune teller, all rolled into one. So we've talked about the tech skills, the problem solving, the constant learning, but there's another layer to this whole smart home engineer thing, right?
Absolutely. And it's a big one, ethics.
Right. Because when you're talking about devices that are basically listening and watching in people's homes, things can get a little ethically murky.
Yeah. It's a real tightrope walk. You're dealing with people's personal data, their privacy, their security. It's a huge responsibility.
So it's not just about what's technologically possible, but also what's ethically sound.
Exactly. And that's something these RoleCatcher guides really emphasize. Smart home engineers have to be mindful of those ethical implications every step of the way.
It's like with great smart home power comes great ethical responsibility. They're practically superheroes of responsible tech.
I like that. They're the ones making sure this technology is used for good, not for, spying on people or compromising their privacy.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Precisely. And that's what makes this career path so fascinating. It's not just about the gadgets themselves, it's about using technology in a way that benefits people's lives without compromising their values.
Well said.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's got a head for tech, a knack for problem solving, and a strong moral compass, this might just be the dream job for you.
I'd say so. It's a challenging, rewarding, and constantly evolving field with no shortage of opportunities.
It's been amazing taking this deep dive into the world of smart home engineers. We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical skills to the ethical dilemmas.
It's a career path that's full of potential, both for the engineers themselves and for the future of how we live in our homes.
Absolutely. And as this technology continues to advance, it'll be fascinating to see how smart home engineers shape our world for the better. Now, one last thought for our listeners. As smart homes become more and more common, how can we ensure that this technology is accessible and beneficial to everyone, not just a select few? Food for thought as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of smart homes.